Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Overcoming Graduation with Brian Drury, a show where I work to teach you everything I wished I had known about life to help you graduate to the next level in your own. Today's another episode of The Morning Commute, a new series I've been doing where I take my commute to work in the morning to share a short but powerful message with you to help you kick your day off on the right foot. And today's message is this: all the cheat codes to the video game. My brother and I were having a great conversation yesterday and just kind of going through some different things going on in our lives. We were venting about some things, getting out some frustrations, but also talking about some challenges we were facing. And I was telling him about certain things in business or in life where I was like, man, I wish this was going differently, or it's not as easy as I expected, or man, I figured at this point things would be different. And we were talking about the beauty in struggle. He said there's a gift in the challenge. There's a gift in struggle. He goes, life needs struggle. And I was like, dude, I totally agree. Because it's something I have seen so many times in my life, but again, needing the reminder. There's times where even if we know something, I'm doing air quotes, we don't feel it, or it gets so far out of our consciousness or our unconscious mind that we're just not connected to it at all. And he was saying, without any struggle, life gets boring. We think we want this life that has no challenge and all the money in the bank and all the security and no risk and no challenge. But that life gets so boring so quickly. Anyone who's ever been there where, hey, everything feels kind of perfect and there's no real challenge and I'm not working towards anything, we think we want that. I think most people think like, oh yeah, I just want to make a ton of money and retire on a beach and just relax on a beach for the rest of my life. Anyone who's actually done that, there are people I know that have done that have made millions and retired it in their mid-20s or early 30s, went to a beach, and then after a couple weeks were like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? There's got to be more than this. I know people that have crushed every obstacle, who have risen to the top of their field, who got the penthouse apartment and were looking over the city they lived in and went, there's gotta be more. And so as my brother and I were talking about this, like celebrating the struggle, the beauty of the struggle, and also the power of it, the strength in it, and also the strength in the individual who seeks out struggle and challenge to grow. Because that's the whole thing. I don't think life is just about arriving at a point. I think life is about continuous growth for however much time you have on this planet. And so when we see that struggle is a reality that we can choose to embrace, something that Jocko Willink talks about in his podcast, and if you haven't seen this, my brother in this same conversation yesterday introduced me to a 2-minute video by Jocko Willink. If you're not familiar with Jocko, he's a former Navy SEAL at this point, who was made famous kind of by his interview on the Tim Ferriss podcast. He has done a bunch of incredible stuff, pretty much everything you'd expect a Navy SEAL to be. Super intense, hardworking, up at 4 a.m. every day, exercising dude, like just intense, disciplined son of a bee. And Jocko has this video where he talks about going into a room with his subordinates. And there was one subordinate who would always come, be freaking out about something, and be like, Jocko, we got this, we got that, we need this, we didn't get that. And Jocko's response would always be, good. He'd be freaking out about this, he'd be freaking out about that, he'd be saying, we didn't get this, we didn't get the promotion, we didn't get the mission, good. And after a while, finally, after many times of this, there's a time where he comes in freaking out about something. He goes, I already know what you're going to say. He goes, what am I going to say? He says, you're going to say good. He goes, that's right. Because any time something bad happens, there is space now for something good that's going to lead to something good. He's like, oh, you didn't get the promotion? Good. You didn't get the results you wanted? Good. More time to get better. You didn't, and he uses a bunch of military examples where he says we didn't get the fast deployment gear that we wanted, things that I don't fully understand, but I'm getting where he's coming from. It's the whole idea that, oh, this is one he didn't use. Your girlfriend left you? Good. You're in insane amounts of debt? Good. That's an opportunity to come up with a creative solution. You've got good problems. You've got more people than you can service. Good. How can you change the way that you operate in order to bring more of your value to the world? I'm totally out of shape, and my doctor just said that if I don't lose some weight and take better care of myself, then I don't have long to be on this planet, or I'm going to have lingering health issues my whole life. Good. An opportunity to change, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to prove to yourself how strong you are. And the reason I bring this all up is because this all linked to one metaphor that my brother made. We started talking about struggle, and he goes, Brian, it's like, remember when we were kids and we would play tons of video games? I was like, yep. And he goes, and when you would get the game right away, there's all this excitement of something new. You're going to play through this story. You're going to be the character. You're going to learn. You're going to have to overcome obstacles and all that. I was like, yep. He's like, well, remember when you would get a game and then just buy the cheat codes right away? You buy all the cheat codes for the game so you could max out everything, your skill, your health, your money. You could buy anything, do anything. You could fly, you could fight, you could kill any bad guy. He goes, what happened? And I was like, the game got boring. He goes, that's right. When suddenly everything is given to you and there's no struggle and there's no challenge, all right, you might get into it a little bit here and there. You might be like, yeah, I want to fly a helicopter around space and do God knows what in the video game. But after a while, you're like, all right, well, there's nothing to challenge me. There's nothing to overcome. There's nothing to grow in because everything's maxed. My money's at infinity. My strength is at infinity. I don't have anywhere else to go. And that's the beauty in the challenges in life. That's the beauty in the struggles, whether we select them or not. Because that's the thing, choosing to do a mud run, choosing to swim 1,000 meters, choosing to do a 6 a.m. workout, those are chosen struggles. Those are self-inflicted struggles. And I don't want that to sound negative, but at times it's going to be intense. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. But through that, you grow. So often, people are wanting growth without any struggle, challenge, or resistance. Doesn't necessarily have to be struggle in the sense of the word, like, oh, this is terrible and I hate this and it's such a struggle. Because struggle is how you define it. Like, it's a struggle to bench your max weight. It is a struggle to do 100 burpees as fast as you can. Doesn't mean it has to be a negative thing. Like Jocko, you can say, good. Man, I burned out and I didn't have any energy left in the tank for this workout. Good. That's an opportunity to change how you're showing up, change what you're working on, improve your diet and your sleep to help give you more energy. Good. My brother even said, he's like, I've started doing that ever since I listened to this 2-minute clip. I'll include this in the show notes because this one is just killer. It's one of those great ones. I downloaded it so I can have it with me at all times. Like, I want to be able to turn that on when I'm getting down in the dumps on some nonsense, when I'm getting really in my head on something. So, we think we want the cheat codes to the game. We are all, I think most people, maybe not all, but most people are looking for a shortcut to get somewhere. What's the one book to read to get the result? What's the one thing that I need to do to get the result? That's the interesting thing about personal development conferences, about speeches, about books, about, like, people often go to these things, and I know because I can be one of them. And I am one of them for sure at times. Going to these things, looking for that one thing, that one bit of wisdom, that one little piece of knowledge, that nugget of gold that is going to take us and help us change everything. Somehow, if we read this one thing, hear this one group of words, or see this one picture, whether at an event or in a book or in a podcast or an audiobook or whatever it may be, it's that thought of, once I know that, then I can take action, then life will change, then that will shift everything so that action becomes easy. That's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have when it comes to personal development, is thinking that the knowledge or the understanding or the realization will suddenly make it easy. Now, don't get me wrong. things that I have heard at seminars have drastically changed my life and changed the way that I view everything. Like those seminars, the coaching I've done, the mentors I've worked with, that has massively shifted who I am, how I see the world, what I see as possible. And I've surrounded myself with people that live in a reality so distinct and different from what most people consider real, normal, or possible, that I can see different realities. I can see beyond where I saw before. That doesn't make it easy. Just because I know these things, just because I have certain pieces of insight or wisdom from coaches and mentors and books and all these different sources, it doesn't mean it's always easy. Just because I know about Jocko's good video, it doesn't mean I'm always going to just now naturally, easily default into saying good. But now that I have that tool, you can be damn well sure I'm going to use it. And already this morning I have used it. So it's about understanding that cheat codes and shortcuts don't help because they don't require you to grow. The game becomes a lot less fun when it's given to you. You appreciate it a lot less. And when you have nothing to overcome, you have less to help people with. Think about the stories that inspire you the most. It's when someone overcame some unbelievable, ridiculous odds to do something that we might think is impossible, crazy, beautiful, or wonderful. So when you have those moments where you're like, I just wish it was easier, I would say challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to say, all right, what's the problem? All right, here's the problem. Here's the struggle. Here's what I'm battling. Good. How can you show up different? How can you ask yourself a better question? If you listen to this show, you know I say this all the time because it is such a powerful lesson I've learned in my life. And that is, I believe, and this is something I've learned from my mentors, my coaches, and everyone, I believe that the quality of our lives is largely influenced by the quality of the questions we ask. So, if you're asking yourself shitty questions, you will probably get shitty results. Where can you shift the conversation? Where can you celebrate the struggle? Be honest about the struggle. Don't lie to yourself. Lean into it. Say, yeah, this is the problem. And it's a problem. Good. What am I going to do about it? So where in your life today are you trying to find the cheat codes, trying to avoid the struggle and avoiding your own growth and development? And what is one thing that you can say good to today that you can address and come up with a better question, better solution, and take action on? So what's a better question to ask, and what is the action you can take to start saying good to life, good to the struggle, facing it head on, and growing into the person that you know you're meant to be? I love you all for listening. Thank you for being a part of this podcast in today's episode. If you're not already subscribed to the podcast, be sure to do that on iTunes or on Stitcher. That way you can stay up to date with the most recent content. You'll get it right when it comes out, and I am putting out a lot more these days, so there's going to be a lot more great stuff coming your way. Also, if you haven't already, I would love to have you share this episode and tag me in it. Tag Overcoming Graduation, because the more that we can get this type of content out there, if you got value, if you gain from this, odds are there's someone else in your life that needs to hear this. Maybe you send it to them directly or privately. Maybe you share it out on social media. Maybe you just tell somebody about it. Because the more that we can get empowering messages out into the world, the more that we can battle the struggle of the negativity that is most of our media cycle. So we can work on this together. And for me, it is the best way to help me get these messages out is having you be proponents of it, share it, and give it to the world. So if you got value, if you're willing, I would be honored for you to do that. If you have any questions, feedback, ideas, or things you'd love to share, concepts you'd like me to talk on, people you'd recommend that I should interview, speaking engagements that you'd like me to come to, any of these things, reach out to me at brian@overcominggraduation.com. And that is all for today. I love you all. Thank you for listening, and we'll be talking again real soon.